There are n number of methods in social work as in interventions or strategies. ABCD, assert-based community development, CAR, children at risk, SHA, self-help approach, and there are n number of programs and strategies. So in that case, why do we need to talk about CFCD, child-focused community development? So we will try to understand more about this and why is this more interesting and why is this so apt in today's context. Before we move on to CFCD, that's child-focused community development, it would be much more meaningful if we could understand what is social work. When I ask people what is social work, people do get confused between social work, social service, and volunteering. I tell you, social service is a service that any individual can do based on their emotions. Some people who are touched to do something, they feel no pity about certain things, they do. Some people feel no, I want it. No, it's my responsibility to give it back to the society, so I give it back. Some people are like that. But social work, on the other hand, is a practice-based profession and an academic discipline to promote social change, to see some sort of impact in the society, or to see social harmony in the places where there are no peace, or to liberate people who are in social darkness or social bondage. Now, do you think this social work is just a one-day event or a one-hour event? Definitely not. It is a process. It takes time. It does take time, but worth the time. It is a process. It is like how a farmer sows his seed and he waits for his harvest. So here we first target the individual, which means we work with individuals, then we scale up to the family level, then we move towards the community level, and then we try to impact the society at large. As rightly coined by Ms. Aishwarya, social work is to help individuals to help themselves. So we use a lot of different concepts here, like accountability, sustainability, transparency, and things like that. Now, I wanted you to focus your direction towards sustainable development goals. What is the connect between social work, CFCD, and sustainable development goals? We'll be going through this in the upcoming slides. But however, let me tell you this. The UN, United Nations, in the year 2000, they came up with a concept called Millennium Development Goals, which were till the year 2015. So in the year 2015, lot many experts, researchers, NGOs, UN, different projects, governments came together, sat and worked out this sustainable development goals, which extends till 2030. Now, there are 17 different goals given in SDG, be it poverty or hunger or good health or reducing inequality or building partnerships to bring in an impact. Now, talking about all these aspects, why do we need to talk about all these aspects? Is because we are not just going to focus only on women or a child or an old age or be it any particular vulnerable group. Here, we would like to focus on different groups on a holistic way. So that's where the sustainable development goals do come in. Now, refining the sustainable development goals, there is a concept called CFCD. Now, CFCD has got three important components. One is child, community, and development. Who is a child? When we ask this question to different people, people say a young person or a toddler or an infant, or some people even say 0 to 18. What I tell you, as per CFCD, a child means an individual less than 18. What is it different from 0 to 18 to less than 18? So less than 18 means a child, when a child is formed in the mother's womb, is still considered a child. So here, child is a person who's less than 18. The next talking about is community. Community means a group of people with a similar mindset living in the same geographical location. So that's a community. Development means bringing in a positive impact. Now, I'll take you through the concept of CFCD. Today, we live in a world where there are n number of problems, n number of social problems, and today's context, the situation is so very complex that people are entangled with different problems. And the root cause for all these social problems are because of poverty. Families living in poverty. If I ask this question now, what is the percentage of people in India living in poverty? That is 22.5% of people living in poverty before COVID. After COVID, we don't have the statistics. So for this reason, we would like to collaborate with different stakeholders, be it in global or local level. That's local. So we connect with UN, different governments, different industries, different NGOs, different institutions. So that's why we would like to bring in different stakeholders for a meaningful service. We don't just take some random westernized concept and try to fit in our Indian context. So here we take those concepts, we take those basics in those concepts, and we try to customize it to the local level. Why do we want to do that? Why do we want to bring in some concept? It's because we would like to see an impact in the lives of children. Here I bring to you 8 different dimensions in the CFCD program. So here, of course, I brought in 8, but different organizations or different agencies customize it according to the need. So to start with, child protection. There are 4 different rights for a child, survival, development, protection, and promotion. Okay. So here, when any one of the rights is missed, then the child is not protected. So henceforth, we start something called an activity center, which will be the base for all the other programs. Talking about the activity center trains the children in the area of child rights. It promotes child parliament, and it enables the children to participate in different events so that their skill set is improved. Moving on to clean water. We live in a country where getting water itself is a big challenge. Now, ensuring clean water, especially with the rural communities or the tribal communities, is always a challenge. Now, how do we promote it? Through the activity center, we teach children with whatever water you have, you always boil and have it, or you always consume only clean water. Because there are a lot of diarrhea cases in the rural India, and the main reason for it is not having a clean water or not having a source of clean water. Moving on to the next one, that is education. Today, anybody can educate themselves, which means they can go to school and get some, get on to some grades. But how quality is the education is what is the challenge left to us. So here, through this activity center, again, children get to learn a lot about education, different aspects of education, and it's again a holistic education. And we also ensure through the activity center that that there are no dropouts in the village. The next one, the very important one, is the nutritious food. One major social problem in India, especially in the rural India, is malnutrition. The reason behind it is because people are not able to afford good food. People are living in poverty. So taking this into consideration, through the activity center, the children are trained in kitchen garden, and also to use, they don't use fertilizers for the kitchen garden. So here, again, the children are trained in preparing the organic manure. That's the Panchakavya, like how it's coined in the village areas. And those children cultivate those things, and they also learn the native farming. So that is through the nutritious food. The next one is family income. As I said earlier, through poverty, the rural India, or the lower strata of the country, is really suffering. So here, the organization takes an opportunity to give the people some sort of income generation programs, training on some income generation, be it bamboo plate making, or maybe broomstick making, or tailoring, and things like that. And also, they don't stop there. They also focus on the rural women. They encourage them to be a part of the SHGs, self-help group, which again will be a sustainable aspect, which talks about the sustainable aspect. So here, when a man and a woman both contribute, then they'll be able to easily break out from the bondage of poverty. So these are some of the areas through which the organization works in family income. The next one is healthcare. As I said, when you focus more on the nutritious food, the healthcare becomes slightly easy. Now, through this activity center, the NGO ensures that a health profile is created for all the individuals in the rural area, so that their status about tuberculosis, status about Ebola, not just in India, the other countries, African countries, Ebola, and even for that matter, in the days to come, the COVID cases would also be, marked in those profiles. So maintaining some health profiles and having an access to health care would be made possible through this particular program. The next one, very important, is disaster management. There are two types of disaster. One is natural disaster and another one is a man-made disaster. So here they prepare the individuals in two aspects. One is disaster preparedness. The next one is disaster relief. That's the emergency relief. So here the community volunteers or even the children or the adults are trained in disaster management through the activity center. The next one is advocacy. Advocacy is slightly different from liasoning. Whenever there is a child abuse case and a child protection committee is formed, okay, before the, through the activity center again, a child protection committee is formed. And advocacy is not about representing somebody or maybe just liaising with the concerned person, taking their case and advocating for the child, to the right person. It is not just writing a report and giving to the government. It is taking their case and standing firm and ensuring that justice is given for children. Now, CFCD in a nutshell feels like a community development program. Now, how is community development different from CFCD? Is a child, for him or her to have a better life, a good livelihood, all these areas to be covered. Now, when all these areas are there, we ensure a proper quality of life for children. So this is just one of the concepts, because this concept doesn't want children to have a mere existence. It wants children to have a living, a good well-being.